Hi, folks. I'm Ross Cavett in the Cobb TV studios with Chairman Mike Boyce for his weekly chat with us. Chairman, good morning.
Good morning to you, Ross.
Well, it's October. The school district has had its fall break already, but it still feels like summer.
Well, we're going to have summer and winter. There will be no fall this year. It's supposed to get up to 90 degrees today, and I guess somebody forgot to tell the weather gods that it's fall.
Yeah. Well, we just had the fair, which is supposed to kick off fall.
That's right.
I guess, but it certainly was popular.
Very popular. Matter of fact, I was told that Saturday night that the fair had the largest attendance it has ever had in the history of the fair. And that's just another example of the prosperity that has been reflected across the entire breadth and width of the county. As you know, we're also part of the success story led by Governor Deal in bringing jobs to Georgia, and we are part of the low unemployment rate. There are frankly more jobs in Georgia right now than we have people to fill them, and we're experiencing that in Cobb also. So I just been trying to tell people it's a great time to live in Cobb County. It's a great time to live in America, and we should just savor that and enjoy it. Matter of fact, I just got my monthly statistics yesterday from the community development that reflects the amount of economic development here in the county, and I'm going to have to ask you to show the chart here. It doesn't matter what district you're in, every one of them is seeing new growth in both residential, certainly all residential is reflecting growth, and in those parts of the county where we have a large number of commercial properties, that is also seeing large numbers of growth. It's just a great news story, and I'm just pleased to be part of that. As I tell people, I believe that the role of government is kind of like to be an umpire in a baseball game or referee in a basketball game. They know that they're there, they just don't want us part of the game. And I believe that we have done a great job here in the county of staying out of people's lives as much as we can. But those times when we do engage them, primarily in services that we provide them, we give them 5-star service. And we're going to continue to make that even better in the days ahead.
When we show these charts that community development puts together, describe what they're tracking and what they show you.
Well, there's actually a number of categories they look at. Obviously, one of them, a number of permits desired. As you can see in the upper left-hand corner, every district has a residential permits being requested. And I think it's important to emphasize at this time also that because of the future land use map, doesn't necessarily mean that when a developer comes in and wants to put some homes or commercial property on a lot that he has to come to the board and ask permission. The future land use map, by the way that is the zones that are on there, that gives them permission to do that. So in many cases, you may have let's say you have a lot of 100 acres and it's zoned R20, which roughly means you can put a house every half acre. So if you have 100 acres, that means you can roughly put 200 houses on there. And the only thing that the developer has to do for the most part is come in and ask for a land disturbance permit to start bulldozing. So the zonings only come into play when you want to change what's on the future land use map, put something else there. And yes, we probably get 10 to 12 every month, but a lot of those are other businesses, issues where just the smaller changes that we've already done for a prior zoning, but there's some modifications in the nature that come up during the site plan development. But another thing that I've been noticing on these permits is a lot of them were on zonings that were made sometimes as much as 10 years ago. And just because a developer asked to rezone a property, the times have to also be right when he's going to have a market to sell them. And what's happening right now is that land has been sitting there, it's been rezoned for 10 years, but now is the time to build on there because the market is there. We also see, for instance, in District 3, the number of commercial permits have been asked. It's significant during the month of September. So again, it depends what category you're looking at, but the good news is there isn't a single bar below the line. Every one of them is above the line and significantly above the line. And you also see that in the number of inspections that we're doing here, which gives you some idea of how very busy our inspection division here in community development.
And that goes into my next comment, is that I've been here for a year now with the county, and one thing I've learned that growth and prosperity is good, but boy, it ramps up the work that the county has to do.
It does.
To deal with
it. You can't, there comes a point where a person may be able to do X number of houses, but after a while, that's all the time he has. And the law is very clear about once we make somebody work more than 8 hours a day, if they're a non-exempt worker, then we have to start paying them overtime. And that overtime sometimes adds up, eats into our budget. But the reality is if we had properly populated our staff to do the job, the work that's out there, we wouldn't need to do that. So again, it's all tied, it's always about money, all right? But money also leads to the kind of services that you get. So it doesn't do a developer any good to have to wait 3 or 4 days to have somebody come by and inspect that part of the property that he's trying to develop. To a developer and anybody in business, time is money. And so we want to make sure, and I think the community development under Dana Johnson done a great job of creating the right number of people to go out there to make sure that we deliver the service exactly as we promised it when they sat down with us.
Right. And this is another exciting time of year. We're talking about October. We've got 2 things going on that we've had a lot of meetings about. We've had a lot of discussions about. The Braves are heading to the postseason.
Yes, they are, absolutely.
And we're also planning for the Super Bowl that even though it's down the street in Atlanta, has a lot of impact up here in Cobb.
Boy, look, I had a conversation with Mike Plant last month, and he was very candid that obviously they're delighted about what's going on right now, but they didn't see it coming this fast. They obviously had a lot of confidence in these young players, in Acuna, Camargo, and Albies. But more importantly, they had seasoned players also that mentored these young men in the clubhouse and gave them the staying power to go through a 162 game season, particularly in September when in the middle of a pennant chase. So my hat is off to Manager Stitker, to the whole Braves organization. But I think also it's important to know that this year, we had an average attendance of over 30,000 people at every game. And I think the reason people came to these games, not just to see the excitement of the Braves, but they knew that they could come to the SunTrust Stadium and to the Battery and do so in a safe manner, in a way that was organized. The parking by now has been praised throughout the county, and if not the region. As a matter of fact, this development has done so well that the Braves have been asked, and as our public safety, to go and to talk about how we did this right in other developments, parks that are being considered throughout the nation. So the Braves are a great news story. I'm really excited about them this weekend being back in town. And as far as the Super Bowl goes, I just think I only have to say one thing. Every parking spot at McCollum Airport is booked for Super Bowl weekend. So I don't care where you look in this county when it comes to the economics, this county's on fire. But more importantly, it's on fire because we're able to live up to our promises of what our commitments are, that when you come here, you're going to be able to do so safely, and we're going to deliver the services exactly in the manner we prescribed you to, and you're going to be able to have a great time here.
Right. And we expect during the Super Bowl, obviously a lot of traffic at the airport, but there's going to be events at the Battery,
Yes,
Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have many. The NFL's already reserved a huge block of hotels in Cobb County, and we have at least one NFL event up here, so that's going to be very exciting and a chance to showcase the county. Right,
and I was talking to Holly Quinlan. I meet with her once a month along with Sharon Mason over at the Chamber. We have all 3 of us meet together to exchange things that are going on in the county, how we can help each other out. Holly is very confident that every hotel room in Cobb County will be booked out for the Super Bowl weekend. So again, what more can I say? The numbers speak for themselves. This county is providing the services, and the reason I believe people come here and are successful economically, in large part is because this government delivers what it promises. And it's a great time to live in Cobb County, and I'm just telling people, I don't care where you are. In South Cobb, Six Flags is having another banner year. I believe it's also had its best year ever in the history. And last year said the same thing. Coming up to the Braves, coming up to the north part of the county where KSU is having another great football season. I could sit here for the next 3 hours and simply, without notes, tell you the great things are happening in Cobb County. And like I said here, I look forward with great excitement to the Braves being in the World Series.
Yep. And I know we have our Cobb Make-A-Wish 5K this Saturday. I was hoping for some fall-like weather for that, but we're going to go whatever the weather is. So.
Bring your water bottles.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming by. And again, subscribe to all our newsletters, our social media channels. Check out Facebook and Twitter, and you can stay up to date on all things Cobb County. Thanks, Chairman.
Okay, see you next week, Ross.